Hello everyone. Today our newest guest from the Houston, Texas. He worked in the many companies. He is a very good programmer and developer, entrepreneur also. Right now he's working in the big fintech companies in the bank. He managed the backend side of it. So introduce yourself, bro.
Yeah, my name is Ram Panda. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I'm currently a fourth year university student in the University of Texas. And I love programming. I love coding. Mostly, started back in high school because I love solving problems, and I love solving problems for people, and I love using technology to solve those problems. And so I wanted to merge those two things together, and I think computer science is one of the most effective ways to do that. So I've always been fascinated with tinkering with things and going on websites and apps and seeing how they work. So that's kind of how I got my start.
Yeah, very good. Actually, I'm also a final year student at university. Like, how's your university going? Like, how was the finals?
Yeah, finals they're tough, so it's like I'm taking the core last core classes, so it's really a lot of studying. So I just finished the finals actually, so
Yeah.
just one more year left and I'll be graduating.
Yeah, that's cool. The hardest one in university is the final year, you know. We have like diploma working, dissertations, all the papers we have to do. We have to do
Yeah,
projects. We have to do like a lot of stuff, you know. I agree with you.
yeah, I just want to take a break now, man.
So,
I want to.
so tell me about your work experience, like internships. Tell me about you had a lot of experience on internships, like you had like three
Yeah.
or four internships.
So I first started out in kind of more of a research side of computer science. I used to actually be studying biomedical engineering, but I switched to computer science. So in biomedical engineering, I was doing research in molecular structures and kind of doing like computational research in biomedical engineering. That's kind of why I got interested in computer science and I switched over. Once I switched over, I worked in this insurance company doing kind of IT work. Um, and then that was 2 years ago. And then 1 year ago, I did an internship in a bank called Charles Schwab. It's an investment bank, and so they do a lot of different technology that's related to investing and making it easier for users like you and me, not just like rich investors, but just common people like you and me to get into stock market and investing. So I was really passionate about that, and it was that's where I did my internship.
Wow, that's awesome. Good experience. Like, how did you apply and how was the process to get hired as an internship? Like, everybody wants, like, students wants to get, like, not jobs, like internship in order to get experience, in order to, like, get something on the paper.
Yeah, a lot of it is like networking and knowing people. So if you know people who work in the technology field in software engineering, they're a manager or they're in a company where they know somebody who is doing like a software development
Yeah,
position. That's one of the fastest, most effective ways to get that internship.
yeah.
And again, and you can do that, or you can do hackathons and meet people there. You can have friends who know people who work in those companies. You can go to career fairs. Normally, in normal times, career fairs are just in-person events at universities. But now career fairs are all online, and so you can access all these virtual resources to meet people. So it's all about meeting people and getting to know people who work in those positions. And so they can open your mind to the different positions that they have in their company, all the different roles, different technologies they work with. And so it's all about going out there and introducing yourself to those people.
Yeah, wow. I had like you have very good experience on broad knowledge on the all of them. Like, what is your future plan? Like, can you?
Yeah, so if you check that on my Goodwill page, I made a video already about like my dream career, which is to work in self-driving or autonomous cars. So I'll be, I'm starting out these baby steps in my career right now, but soon I want to be working hand in hand with engineers who actually work on this car, and I want to be the back end software programmer for those cars. It involves a lot of different complex technology. It involves cloud technology, machine learning, computer vision, all kinds of embedded systems, human computer interaction. All these kind of things, complex interactions go into creating this self-driving car. And there's a lot of different reasons I want to do it, because I think it's definitely the future. There's like so many people putting billions and billions of dollars into it right now, and I think it'll improve safety around the world. It'll get your packages a lot faster, and it'll so many different benefits. Specifically, I want to go into like the cloud computing design. So. That's where I aim to be. So far, I've kind of had a little bit of experience in computer vision. So there's a Python library called OpenCV, and it's like a computer vision library. And so I've been doing a little bit of work with that, just to get a little bit of experience. It's nothing like very heavy, but after that, I'll be looking into machine learning and artificial intelligence and things like that. That'll help me kind of take steps towards that career. So that's a little bit about my dream career.
Wow, that's awesome. This is like future itself. AIs and all that stuff. I also have like experience on the TensorFlow. I did like little mobile phones, like in order to detect other stuff. Yeah. So let's go to the main topic of our podcast. So what do you think about like coding? Like, what was your first language? How was your experience? Like, share about like what is your like coding? I mean, programming language.
Yeah, my first language that I ever got into was Python, because it's just so easy to learn. It's like so simple, and it's it's easier to start. It's easy to just get a hello world going. Just print hello world. So I was, I think it was back in 9th grade or something, like 8 years ago, I first like opened a Python book. And after that, in school, they actually introduced me to Java. And so I was writing all these like little programs, just to do like small, for loops and print out this whatever things. And later on, after that, I saw YouTube videos where these people were kind of tinkering with like these little microchips, and I was curious, what is this microchip that you can plug into your computer and tinker with? It's called the Arduino microchip. It's Arduino or Raspberry Pi. So that was like my first like real big experience into coding and like practical applications with coding. So I got an Arduino microchip, and I have my Raspberry Pi with me right now. So
I love Raspberry Pi. Is it 4?
Yeah, Pi 4. Yep. So I haven't actually I just ordered it. I was mostly working on my Arduino, but during this Christmas break, I'll be kind of working with this Raspberry Pi, and so all these things kind of got me interested in how you can actually apply this programming and coding to real world. And then of course in college, studying computer science and kind of their applications to all kinds of either biomedical, like medical field, or in the software engineering, those kind of applications. That's what got me interested in coding. So after that, I learned Python, Java. Then that kind of built this foundation, right? Then I learned things like more advanced languages like JavaScript and SQL for backend, and now I'm getting into different frameworks of JavaScript for front end design and things like that. So just a journey.
Wow, that's awesome. What are you working on in your job, like for backend side right now?
Yeah, so we're working on creating an API for just the internal within the company, because the front end of the system for creating accounts has already been made. Now they just need a backend API, to process the information that the user brings in. So before we started this technology, this development, there used to be people who manually entered data for user accounts, right? The user types in there, want to create an account. they have to kind of manually search, enter this information. But now we're doing this automation of the creating user accounts. So user enters all their information. We create an API that creates the account for them in the backend. So we're using Java and a special framework of Java called Spring and Spring Boot. So it's it's like an API creation technology.
Good job, guys. I think like most banks use this Java in order to like they're building backend, right? More secure.
Yes.
So next question is, how do you like when you have an idea? You also entrepreneur. I like read your profile. You're entrepreneur. So how you are get idea and realize it to reality? I mean, how the process going for you?
So the process going for me is kind of a backwards process. Actually, it's I'm really good at coming up with a vision and seeing like, okay, I want my idea to look like this. I want people to use my product like this. So I start there. I start at the finish line, and I work backwards from there, right? So what are all the things that are required, for this idea to become a reality? And then work backwards. Okay, what building blocks do I need to create? And then and then all the way back to what resources do I have now? And so in that way, I think we can, easily not only, build out all the features and, all the ideas that we want to build out, but we can also see the risks that are involved. You can see the timeline that it takes, how much money it's going to take, all these things in order to plan out from your idea to the reality, right? So, you don't just dream something, you really do it. So I think working backwards from a vision all the way to your position right now is the best way to take an idea from just in your head into the real world.
Yeah, very good, very thoughtful, and very useful. So many people are like have very good ideas when they are like studying students, but they don't pursue their like ideas. They just dream and just let go it. So how to like if you have idea, pursue until you're done, until you finished. You know what I mean?
So what was the question again? So how to pursue the idea?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think being realistic about it, like not, of course it's great to dream and come up with these big ideas, but setting realistic like goals for the idea is very important because of course you need to study and if you need to like whatever entrepreneur you are, every entrepreneur at sometimes needs a regular job to pay the bills, right? But so being realistic about this idea, being realistic about how much time it takes, how much work it'll take, how much effort it'll take, what other priorities you have in your life is really important to getting this idea to completion. So of course you have to prioritize all the things that are going on in your life right now, right? So whether it's your health, your family, your financial situation, school, you have to prioritize all your things before you get to this idea, because this idea is whatever idea you're working on, it's essentially non-essential until you create it, right? Until you make it a reality, then it becomes your whole life. So I think like building your whole life around this idea, making sure you have all your other needs met, then you can prioritize this idea that you have that you want to make into a reality. That's the most important thing, because if you let there are people who just go, I don't want to sleep, I'm not going to eat, I'm just going to work on this idea, I want to make this company, I want to make this product. Well, that's not really healthy, right? It's not sustainable. You're going to burn out, you're going to do it's going to be like one of those horror stories, right? So prioritizing all these different needs and being realistic, being practical is the best way to really sustain the idea for a long time.
Wow, that was like very empowering. You're right. I totally agree with your opinion. So, like, do you have like when you are coding, when you are building project, you have a little bags or something? You find a very bad situation, you cannot find a solution for that. How do you approach on this one? Like, if you have a difficulties in order to solve the problem in the coding, I mean.
Okay. So you're saying like if there's a skill that I don't know that I need to learn?
I mean,
or
is it like when you have like coding, they had like some bags, some situations they are a little bit hard to find, how you are like approaching on this? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, of course, I think you already know Stack Overflow is always there for you when you're coding. But I think again, like what I said before, knowing people in like who are working with these technologies, knowing people who are experienced in all kinds of technologies, networking is really important because there's a lot of times that I was stuck on this project and it looks like I cannot figure it out. I cannot figure out the problem. So I have to, consult somebody that I know who has already worked on this project before. If it's solving a problem is the hardest part of the problem, right? It's like using the tools is not the most difficult thing, right? If there's a computer language out there, someone else has already done it before. Someone else has already done this hard work before. So you can, if you know those people, that's the best way to figure out the solution. Coming up with the solution itself, that's on you. That's the hardest part. But if it's like some library you don't know, or if it's some kind of some small some backlog that you can't figure out, there's always somebody you can consult. So that's what I would say. Like, make sure you are in touch with people who have the same interests as you and who have worked on these technologies that you're working on, so that you can ask them questions. So that's the best way.
I understand. Wow, the best advice. So last question is, how do you see the coding, programming, like technology, is bringing us as a society in the future? Like, what do you vision?
Like, so what? How is like programming and coding gonna progress in the future?
Yeah.
Uh, that's interesting. I think it'll be, I think this trend of I guess remote work and kind of just like you and I are doing, meeting each other. Like, I don't know, like we normally wouldn't have met if not for Goodwall. We or apps that connect us all over the world. So I think we'll find that we're working with people all over the world more. I think companies are going to be less companies are going to be just in one city. If developers are not going to work with just people within their own office anymore. There's soon enough, we're not gonna. All of our offices are going to be all around the world, right? We're just going to be in a room, and then our teammate is in some other country, and then another teammate is in another country. So I think that's why, as more people acquire more skills in coding, I think we're going to be like yeah, we're going to be becoming more international and more diverse in terms of like our talent and our connections. That's where I see the effects going. I think, yeah, people all over the world, no matter where they're coming from, no matter what background or what class they're from, they're able to learn coding now. And it's not like business or anything where you need to know rich people in order to build up your career. It's accessible to everybody. So if you have a computer and some internet, you have an equal chance to learn programming. So I think that's going.
Exactly. So true. I mean, the technology itself is bringing us like new evolution, like people are different right
Yeah.
now. Like, we can connect with everyone in the world. Like, we can do everything we want. It means we have to learn and pursue of like way to programming, how to like code. Like, we have to start it. That's why the main purpose of my like podcast and other stuff, to pursue people to learn coding and programming, because it can change many problems we are facing it right now, because a lot of people have like different problems, a lot of society have a different problems. So the best solution for that is the technology, like softwares, websites, apps, if we go like easier. So what can you like advise the people to pursue on coding and be one of the coders and join on board like as a developer in for people? Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, to give people like inspiration to become like a programmer, um, I would say because it's easy. No,
It's
it's
not
not.
easy.
It's not easy, but like it's. I would say, okay. Here's what I would say. It's like one of the biggest reasons that I was so interested in programming is because you do something on the screen, and you do like you type something, you type some code, you can see the results of what you just did, right? It's like it's not like, you know, if you're a farmer, right? If you do something at a farm, right? You plant some seeds, you know, fertilize them, and you wait. You have to wait and wait and wait, and sometimes who knows what the result will be. But for programming, it's a machine, right? It's a robot, so it's gonna do what you say, and I think that's like so powerful, right? Like you type one thing, your computer will do that definitely. Um, so I think it's so visual, right? It's like you do something and you see the result of your work, and I think that's it's so motivating for me. I can just run the code and I see what I did. Um, and with any other profession, even with business, it's like you can call people, make sales, make this, make that. You can work hard, but you don't know exactly what's going to happen, right? So this, I think, with computer science and programming, it's like you certainly know that your efforts will lead to something that's like a built product.
Wow, this was very empowering. So that's it for today. We just covered a lot of. We get to know each other. You know, I like first time meeting him. Like it was very nice to meet you. So also, I'm looking forward to do in other topics also to share your knowledge, ideas, your point of view on the not only coding but also like as an entrepreneur, as a community builder, as a other points also. So,
Yes.
so any last words and
Yeah, no, I mean, if anybody's watching out there, just like whatever you're doing, no matter what field you're going into, learn programming, learn computer science. No matter what you're interested in, whether it's computer science and building robots or technology engineering, or you're into art or you're a doctor or you're anything, learn programming because it's gonna have an application in your life. So you're gonna have to use it at some time.
oh, thank you. So thank you all guys for watching, and also thank you for I had like one video get like 1K already, and I have like 200 subscribers already. So let's see how it will go, how everything will be in the future. We hope like everybody learning, everybody like sharing ideas. Like if you are get the knowledge, be sure to share with someone because we have like short life to live. So we have to get impact and also be one of the people who help it when not selfishly learn for money or other stuff. So don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and check out the other videos too. Thank you.